Good morning. My name is Dr. Randy Worth. I'm the Senior Associate Dean for Student Affairs and Admissions for the MD program at the University of Toledo College of Medicine and Life Sciences. Welcome to the 2023 White Coat Ceremony for the University of Toledo. The entering class of medical students has achieved extraordinary academic success in order to gain acceptance into medical school. Academic excellence is not enough, however, to make a caring doctor who has genuine concern for his or her patients as individuals. That's why the University of Toledo MD program uses a holistic admissions program that evaluates applicants based not only on their academic achievements, but also on their personal qualities, values, contributions outside the classroom. A major reason that these students are here at the University of Toledo is because they have demonstrated the personal values and humanistic qualities that are desired in physicians. Characteristics such as honesty and integrity, compassion and empathy, altruism, respect for others, and dedication for service. Like learning, professional development is a lifelong process. We've started to build upon the profession of medicine and symbolize the compassion that your future patients will expect from you. At this time, it's my honor and privilege to introduce Dr. Christopher Cooper, Dean of the College of Medicine and Life Sciences, Vice Provost for Educational Health Affairs, and Distinguished University Professor. Dr. Cooper.
Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to see you. On behalf of the University of Toledo, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to the incoming class of medical students and your families and your friends. We're so pleased that you have decided to enter the profession of medicine and have chosen the University of Toledo for your medical education. For family and friends, the start of a new academic year is a time of enthusiasm, a sense of accomplishment, and there's a lot of energy. We share that excitement and energy as you feel on embarking on your journey to fulfill your dreams of becoming a physician. So, who is this class of 2027? Who are these people in front of us? Well, this is our 55th entering class of 175 students. You were selected from over 5,500 applications. As I told you Wednesday morning, you're the 3%. The majority of you are from the state of Ohio. We are a state institution, and that is intentional, but a third of you are from states across our country, ranging from Florida to California and places in between. You come from a wide variety of universities and colleges, both in our region and across our nation. Academically, you're highly accomplished. Your average grade point average is 3.75, MCAT 509, which puts you in the top 20% of students nationally. All of you have a bachelor's degree, and 30 of you have professional degrees beyond that, including master's and doctoral degrees. You range from 20 to 44 years old, and you're about evenly split between men and women. A very accomplished, diverse class. We are so glad to have you with us. You're also joining the College of Medicine and Life Sciences at the University of Toledo at an exciting time. We continue to innovate in our curriculum to give you the learning experience that you deserve. Our clinical training opportunities are evolving to offer you a greater range and diversity of possibilities. For those of you who are interested in biomedical research, that too is expanding at the university. In addition, our students at the completion of their 4-year journey continue to do very well in the residency match program. This past spring, our students matched in many excellent and competitive programs here in our community and across the country. More broadly, the College of Medicine has additional opportunities which you may be interested in. Some of you may pursue a joint degree program to earn an MD JD program, or an MD PhD, or an MD and a MBA, or an MD MPH. Importantly, as your training evolves, you may see these opportunities and pursue them. Please do. Most importantly, the University of Toledo's College of Medicine and Life Sciences is a family. of fully committed faculty and staff and students who will help you achieve your full potential. It's my great honor to congratulate you and welcome you. At this time, it is also my pleasure to introduce Dr. Mary Jo Tamburino, a representative of the College of Medicine and Life Sciences alumni affiliate. Dr. Tamburino.
Good morning. Your University of Toledo Alumni Association and the College of Medicine and Life Sciences Alumni Affiliate are pleased to be a part of today's ceremony and honored to present these white coats as our gifts to you, which were purchased by our alumni. The stethoscopes you received earlier this week are gifts from our medicine alumni as well. The Alumni Association and the College of Medicine Affiliate will be with you as you help to improve the human condition. Please let us know how we can assist you during the next 4 years and beyond. On behalf of the more than 9,000 alumni of the College of Medicine and Life Sciences, we extend our very best wishes to you and your families on this very special day.
Part of the tradition of the white coat ceremony is to present gifts to the incoming class to remind you of the responsibilities of the profession you have chosen as your life's work. As you just heard from Dr. Tamburino, the University of Toledo College of Medicine and Life Sciences alumni affiliate has generously provided the white coats for each student. In addition, each coat has a Keeping Healthcare Human label pin or lapel pin with a gold Mobius loop on the pin, which represents the critical bond between clinician and patient that is at the heart of compassionate care. The pins serve as a visual reminder to students that in order to deliver the best care to their patients, compassion and empathy must be the hallmark of their clinical practice. The pins are a gift from the Arnold P. Gold Foundation, a public foundation dedicated to fostering humanism in medicine. At this time, I will call each student's name and have you come forward to the center of the stage, where you will be cloaked with your first white coat. Dr. Deepa Mukundan, Associate Dean for Student Affairs, Dr. Thomas Sodeman, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, and Dr. Mary Jo Tamburino, representative of the College of Medicine and Life Sciences alumni affiliate, will cloak the entering students. There's a professional photographer who will then take an individual photo for each student with Dr. Cooper that will be available for purchase online. Karim Abul Kadud. Al-Arith Al-Tayyib. Jack Altman. Nathaniel Andrews. Chase Arnold. Sonia Asonganyi. Vineeth Adluru. Kate Balthaser. Shreyas Banerjee. Clara Barnard. Humza Bashir. Katie Byer. Lena Berks. Ria Bala. Arshvi Bhatt. Asta Babsar. Devanshi Babsar. Christopher Bite. Patricia Blazovich. Joseph Basil. Colin Boisenalt. Luke Borgelt. Allison Boyer. Sharvari Brahume. Victoria Brown. Michaela Carpenter. Kayla Cartwright. Catherine Cash. Heyan Chaudhry. Alyssa Chen. Michelle Chirian. Thomas Cho. John Chehevich. Stephen Cox. Ariane Crabb. Elena Curran. Aya DeKrug. Avery DeLong. Maverick Delp. Sonali Doshi. Nathaniel Dussault II. Grace Earl. Amber Edson. Femi Elisha. Robert Fogel. Angelina Furies. Jacob Gherkin. Michael Glaze, Jr. Arakshitha Goyal. Lauren Gray. Verinder Graywall. Christian Grube. Sejil Gunaratnam. Colin Haas. Mackenzie Haygood. Cole Hammond. Christian Harder. Kimberly Heath. Briggs Hale. Michael Hershey. Maura Hickey. Nicholas Huss. Catherine Ingham. Vivian Isaac. Jacob Itkin. Paul Jane. Kiara Jeffrey. Jinsung John. Ojael Kekreikja. Nimrata Kantamdeni. Anish Karnani. Mona Kalafi. Fatima Khan. Carolyn Kimberly. Savannah King. Reagan Kirkpatrick. Michael Kleeman. Jamie No Pennekamp. Walid Kojan. Sophia Kolovich. Jonathan Kopaz. Zaina Kret. Nisha Krishnan. Margarita Kugatova. Paras Kumar. Megan Kusman. Kevin Kwok. Austin Lawrence. Madison Leffler. Avery Lewis. Min Loy. Welcome. Zainab Lugmani. Jacob Lyons. Mario Marco. Rogelio Martinez Aguilar. Kunal Maithugru. Holly McGarvey. Ian McWhorter. Rishika Mehta. Patrick Myers. Rainovan Miller. Aaron Miller. Kunal Minhas. Nadine Mohammed. Kyle Monlack. Kelly Morgan. Caitlin Murphy. Alicia Murphy. Benjamin Nagy. Avery Napier. Grant Nelson. Morning. Kennedy Newell. Michael Nicholas. Kimberly Noriega. Eunice Obi. Jared Onek. Fani Pamanon. Cypranatha Panguru. Zoe Parlier. Megha Patel. Michael Petrovsky. Gayatri Plakat. Aditi Priyadarshi. Colby Quillen. Sanjana Sakaran. Madhu Vishnu Sankar Reddy Rami Reddy. Lucas Radiani. Bidisha Richaudhry. Samuel Reed. Meredith Reed. Joshua Paulo Reyes. Gwen Riley. Donovan Roberts. Calliope Roberts. Angela Rooks. Lisette Rosas. Abigail Roifman. Zachary Rudick. Mara Sarouj. Tyler Schwartz. Joseph Sewell. Rhea Shaw. Snehi Shah. Abigail Shahidi. Somia Sharma. Neil Shetty. Alexa Shin. Allison Stats. Samuel Steffen. Austin Stewart. Jason Suh. Nitya Sundar. Maxwell Tallman. Madeline Taylor. Tara Takei. Hannah Thompson. Sarah Toyle. Katerina Tomac. Cecilia Tompkins. Alina Torres. Madison Turnwald. Michael Umatsu. Hayes Unrein. Lucas Unver. Shruti Karthika Warrior. Varsha Vidaputi. Drew Wagner. Kyle Walney. Taryn Winfrey. Joyce Wu. Ashish Yalavarthi. Nina Yang. Hope York McQuillan. Youngman Yu. Anna Zing. At this time, I'd like to call upon fourth-year student Madison Feely, who is a representative from the University of Toledo College of Medicine and Life Sciences chapter of the Gold Humanism Honor Society and one of our career advising peer leaders, who will lead the first-year class in the recitation of the Medical Student Pledge of Ethics. Madison is graciously stepping in for Audrey Ballard, who is unable to be here today. Madison.
Will the class of 2027 please stand? Please join us in reciting the Medical Student Pledge of Ethics found in your program. I publicly acknowledge and accept my privileges and responsibilities given to me today as a physician in training and dedicate myself to provide care to those in need. I will approach all aspects of my education with honesty and integrity, embracing opportunities to learn from patients, teachers, and colleagues. I will always maintain the highest standards of professional conduct. I will certify only that which I have personally verified, and I will neither receive nor give unauthorized assistance on examinations. I will value the knowledge and wisdom of the physicians who have preceded me. I will recognize my weaknesses and strengths and strive to develop those qualities that will earn the respect of my patients, colleagues, family, and myself. I will respect the humanity, rights, and decisions of all patients and will attend to them with compassion and without bias. I will maintain patient confidentiality and be tactful in my words and actions. I will value the diversity of patients' experiences, cultures, and beliefs because it enhances my ability to care for them and enriches my education. I will not forget that there is an art to medicine as well as a science that is warmth, sympathy, and understanding are integral to patient care. I will strive to earn the trust of my patients place in me and the respect that society places upon my profession. I will recognize the privileges afforded to me as a physician in training and promise not to abuse them. Even as a student, I have a responsibility to improve the standard of health in my community, to increase access to care for the underserved, and to advance medical knowledge. As I accept these new responsibilities, I will not forget the importance of my own health and well-being. I will continue to value my relations with those who have supported me in the past and those who will share in my future. Knowing my own limitations and those in medicine, I commit myself to a lifelong journey of learning how to cure, relieve, and comfort the humility and compassion. I will make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor.
Students, you may be seated. And now, ladies and gentlemen, physicians-to-be, students, and friends, we've been witness to a remarkable event. We just watched 175 students commit themselves to a special journey of growth and discovery, the commitment to becoming a physician. The symbol of that commitment today is donning your white coat. You all look very different in those clean white coats. Are you different? Have you changed yet? Oftentimes, meaningful change will begin with a promise. It may be a promise to yourself, to one of your loved ones, or, like you just did, to a room full of people. A few moments ago, you made a promise upon your honor in front of all of these witnesses. The oath you took speaks of accepting the privileges and responsibilities given to you today. Your vow speaks of honesty and integrity, humility, and compassion. You committed to recognizing your strengths and weaknesses and developing the qualities that will earn you the respect of other people. Your promise is to all of those here with you today and to those who will be your mentors, your teachers, the communities in which you will ultimately serve, and most importantly, to the patients that will rely on you and trust you with their care. Along this journey, there's going to be multiple challenges. The next few years, you'll need to work harder than you think. You've heard that once or twice, right? There is so much to learn in the practice of medicine. You'll also have to learn to live with making difficult decisions. To measure up to the promise you made will not be easy, but none of you would be in these seats wearing your new white coats if you had taken an easy path or were looking for easy. I thank you for your promise today to join this wonderful journey to become a physician. So, as I've said to many of you just a few moments ago, I hope you enjoy the rest of today and this weekend with your family and friends. This is the celebration of the beginning of a marathon. For those of you who have completed a 26-mile race, you understand that the balloons and the bands playing at the beginning of the race have so very little to do with what it takes to complete the race. They celebrate, though, the commitment to run the race and, more importantly, the preparation that gets you to the journey. With that, I wish to congratulate all of our incoming students and families on your magnificent achievements to this point and walking on this path with us. Today, together, we begin a new page in our collective lives. You are the best, you are the brightest, and you are well prepared for what is ahead. Our sincere welcome and warmest congratulations. Welcome to the University of Toledo College of Medicine and Life Sciences family. I would now ask that the audience take a few moments to exit the auditorium. We're going to ask the students to remain in their seats for a group photo before joining their families. Thank you all so much.